Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Get Well Soon XOXO. For those of you maybe just tuning in for the first time, I'm your host, Maddie Manic, and on today's episode, we are going to be discussing but just 5 stress relieving tips. I had originally planned to release this episode right kind of in the peak of holiday season, so at the time it went perfectly with like the stress that holidays can bring. But nevertheless, it's always important to be practicing ways to reduce stress because too much stress is not great for anyone. But first, as always, we will start with some of just like updates. I do realize that I'm already slacking on my New Year's Eve, or not New Year's Eve, just New Year's resolutions. Like the one of them being consistent with this podcast, because I did miss last week's episode. But it was my birthday week, and if you know me, you know I am very extra for my birthday, so I will definitely use that as an excuse. I am trying to be better and get an episode out when I can make it happen. And it is happening this week, so that's progress. But yeah, sorry for already slacking on that New Year's resolution. Trying to be better. And then also, Buck decided to have a very scary episode Thursday night, the night before my birthday. He'd had something like it back in December when we were in Vegas, where we think it was a seizure. We don't know exactly what happened because like when they took him to the vet, they didn't really see anything wrong with him. Like they couldn't really figure out why it happened, so they kind of told us to just keep an eye on him to see if it happens again, because if it did happen again, it could be a sign of like a seizure disorder. So it was really scary the first time. He was like literally like pooping blood, and like he was like shaking on the floor, like foaming at the mouth. And then we kind of did think that he maybe like ate tinfoil though, because my sister-in-law was watching him. She said that she saw that like in his poop, so we weren't exactly sure if like maybe that's what caused it. But so we actually didn't even think that he like had the chance of like having a condition. But on like Thursday night, I was just kind of chilling while I was taking a nap on the couch, and then all of a sudden, like, he had been, like, I went to work that day, got home, he was totally fine when I got home. He was running around, like, acting like his normal self, and then I was taking a nap on the couch, and he was just upstairs because he loves to, like, be upstairs in, like, our farthest room and, like, look out the window. That's, like, his favorite spot. And I had maybe been asleep for, like, 15 minutes, and I heard Amazon got delivered, and then he ran downstairs when it got delivered because he, like, anytime he hears the door, he does. So he ran downstairs, still, like, sounding like, I'm obviously not looking at him, but, like, he's sounding normal. He's, like, running and stuff. And he, like, came over on the couch, and I just kind of thought he was going to, like, sit by me. But then he, like, started, like, getting on top of me, kind of, like, scratching at me, which is, I mean, it's not like it's not normal for him to do that. But, like, usually if I'm, like, sleeping, he'll just kind of, like, sit by me. He doesn't usually, like, get on top of me and stuff. So I was kind of like, okay, like, get off me. Like, I'm trying to take a nap. I was so tired, and I was, like, just in the worst mood that day. And so he, like, gets off, and he, like, does it again. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to sleep. Like, not right now. And all of a sudden, there was, like, a little space between, like, me and the couch. So it was, like, or, like, the cushion. So it was, like, he ended up, like, just, like, sitting in between the cushion and my back. And I could just feel him, like, moving his legs and stuff. And I just thought he was, like, struggling to, like, get back, like, off the couch or whatever. And then he was kind of whining. So then I thought he was trying to, like, get over the couch because our sliding glass door is, like, right behind our couch. So I thought he was trying to, like, get over the couch and, like, maybe had to go to the bathroom. So I turned around to look at him because I'm like, dude, like, what's going on? Like, do you need to go to the bathroom? What's going on? I look at him, and he is just, like, drooling uncontrollably, just, like, all over the place. Like, the most, like, when we first got him, he did that because he was, like, super nervous. So, but, like, again, like he hasn't done that like since like every time we kind of taken places, once we first got him, he would like drool all the time because he was just like really nervous. But ever since like having him, he doesn't do that. So I was kind of like, what is going on? Like, why, or like what? Like I thought he was just like scared or like nervous or something. And then at first I was kind of like thought he just kind of got scared that he was like getting like stuck in the couch and like couldn't get up. And he's just like looking at me with like just like it looked like he was like terrified and like had this like glazed over look in his eyes. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like I was like starting to freak out. I thought maybe someone was behind me that he was like looking at, because he wasn't quite looking at me. So I like turned around like thinking like someone's gonna be there. Obviously there was like none of that was going on. And then all of a sudden he's like backing up while looking at me, still drooling all over the place, like a crazy look in his face. And like he's just kind of like he's backing up, but he's like almost like crawling backing up, like he wasn't like standing like or like on his legs. And all of a sudden he like turns around and he just like keeps like face planting into the couch, like he can't like stand up. And like he was like trying to get off the couch, but he would just like keep falling into like the pillows and stuff. And so that's when I was full on panicking. I'm like, what is happening? Like, this is not normal. I like pick him up and put him off the couch just because I wasn't sure if he was like gonna like start like puking or like going to the bathroom or whatever. Wasn't really sure what was gonna happen. Put him off the couch. Then he starts doing the same thing like on a rug, just like keeps like trying to stand up but then falling and everything. And I'm like literally freaking out. Call Mason at this point, like freaking out, like I don't know what's happening with Bug. Like he's not being normal. He just keeps like he's drooling all over the place. He's acting so weird. Like he's not like, it doesn't seem like he's there. Like he's falling. He can't walk. I was sobbing. Like I legit thought he was dying. I don't know. Like I didn't know if he ate something or if it was like, because he wasn't seizing. Like he didn't look like he was having a seizure. Like he wasn't shaking. Like he was trembling, but he wasn't like shaking, you know? So I don't really know what was going on. He's sitting there, still not like he then was able to like lean up against the couch and was just kind of like sitting there, like kind of like trembling, still drooling like crazy, and just kind of like he looking just like at nothing. Like he like was not like was not acknowledging me whatsoever. And he just kind of like, then he had like this scary look on his face, like almost like looked rabid a little bit, like he was like baring his teeth and like just had the weirdest look on his face. And I literally in that moment I like thought he was dying. I was like, didn't know if I should, like I was calling Mason, like being like, should I rush into a vet? Like I know they close at 5, but and it was like 4:50 something at this point. But I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I literally have no idea what to do right now. So then Mason was on his way home. And then I was just kind of like crying and like petting Buck and I was like just being like, I love you. You're such a good boy. Like just like not knowing what was going on. And then kind of just once I was like doing that though, it kind of did feel like he was like starting to come back too, like kind of like seeing me and everything and like slowly starting to seem a little bit better. And then like maybe like another minute or so, he was like able to like stand up, was kind of like cuddling by me and was just seemed to like be over it. And I was like, okay, like, I mean, I feel like that's a good sign, but like it was like terrifying. I still don't know like why that happened. So, yeah, we basically had to take him to the vet the next day. They said all of his like everything, like blood work, everything looked completely fine, looked even better than when he went in last time. So we don't really know like what's going on. He does have to go back again this weekend, and I think they're going to talk about maybe getting him on like medication, but they don't really want to do that if he doesn't have like the conditions. So yeah, not quite sure still what's happening with him, but hopefully we can do something to help him. But yeah, that was very scary. And then ever since then though, he has been doing like normal, so that's been good. It's been a little better, like it's helped a little bit to have him at least be normal and everything. But yeah, so the next day was my birthday. So I did take the day off, which I usually don't do just because I usually just like end up working from home on my birthday, and just because like nobody's off really usually on my birthday. So, but this year it was on a Friday, so I was like, you know what? I'm taking the day off, even if I can't hang out with anyone. I'm still gonna just enjoy it. But my little sister ended up also taking off the day because she loves me and she wanted to hang out with me. So we did a Pilates class. I don't know if you guys are hearing that. I forgot to turn my ringer off, and so everything is just seeming to be going off right now. We did a little Pilates class, and then we got coffee on the way to the class, and which the Pilates class kicked my butt, by the way. That was way harder than I thought. I mean, I was kind of expect them to be a little difficult because they usually are, but I feel like usually in the past they've been more like difficult with my arms, but this one was like literally kicked my butt. It was like all legs, and I was dying by the end of it. I was like, please, no more leg stuff. Like, only arms from this point out. Like, I can't do it. So, luckily, it ended before my legs gave out. But, yeah, then we went to Sephora, and I treated myself a little bit, got some new goods. But the one that I went to, I didn't realize was inside of a Kohl's, and I hate when it's the ones that are inside of their stores because they have literally nothing when it's not like it's just its own thing. So they did not have 90% of the stuff that I went there for, but I was able to find other options, so it was still fine. Just a little bit annoying, but now I know for next time not to go to that one. Then we came home and I got ready for dinner. We went with my family to Del Barrio, I don't know how to say it, cafe. Which if you've ever been, you know that is probably like the smallest restaurant in the world and the smallest parking situation in the world, but it has amazing food, so I feel like that kind of made up for it, and it was a very good choice in my opinion. Then some of my family and friends all met us at Leatherheads for their karaoke night, and it was seriously so much fun. Like, one of my funnest birthdays ever, for sure. I love karaoke so much, as I think I mentioned in my last episode. And I was definitely up there more times than I expected to be. But, it's only my birthday once a year, unfortunately. So I had to take advantage of that, and I definitely did. It was a lot of fun. Also, I finally took the bait and ordered an Aura ring. I don't know who's all heard of those. But yeah, just a little birthday present to myself, and I'm literally so freaking excited about it. I will talk a little bit more about it in the end of the episode, but it's basically just like a smart ring that like has a lot, like tracks a lot of stuff with your health. So they are a little bit pricey, but I'm investing in my health, so it makes me feel a little bit more like okay with doing that. But yeah, I just received my sizing kit today because they do recommend ordering their sizing kit because their rings run like a little different than normal size rings because of like the stuff, like the technical, like it's just, I feel like they run a little bit like small. Basically, I have to like size up than the size that I thought I was gonna originally order, like my normal ring size. I ended up having to do the next size up based on their sizing kit. So I would definitely order their sizing kit if you are looking into ordering one. Yeah, so I had to confirm my size today, and now they're finally going to ship me my ring, and I literally cannot wait. I'm so excited. Like, I just can't wait because they seem so cool. So pretty excited about that. And then Saturday morning we went to brunch at like one of my favorite brunch places. It's called Hash Kitchen. It's just like a really cool vibe, and they have pretty good food. And we were literally like one exit from getting off the freeway when the freeway closed. So we ended up sitting in the same spot for 45 minutes, not moving. And then took another 20 minutes. I always sit on my knees when I'm recording because I feel like if I don't, you can't really see me in the camera because I'm like shorter than my little stand thingy, but my knees or my feet are like asleep right now, so it doesn't feel good. Yeah, but it took us another 20 minutes to get off the exit, so that was really fun, and didn't need to get up as early as I did for brunch that day because basically wasted, like, the reason we got up that early is to avoid having to wait because that place gets so busy. But luckily we still didn't have to wait, but we just waited on the freeway instead. So, you know. But yeah, brunch was really good. And then we just kind of cleaned the house a little bit when we got back. We did take a pretty big nap because we were both exhausted. And then just had a very chill rest of the day. So that was nice. Yeah, basically halfway into the episode right now. But that is finally all the updates. So we're just going to dive right into the episode. Sorry, I can't breathe today, and I don't know why that is, but that's why I keep taking like really deep breaths. So, 5 stress relieving tips. Our first is going to be deep breathing or meditation. And deep breathing activities, they will activate the I knew I was going to have trouble saying this word, parasympathetic nervous system, and this helps to counteract the fight or flight response that is triggered by stress. So the act of deep breathing, it's helping to slow down the heart rate, lower blood pressure, and induces a state of relaxation. And then meditation is taking this one step further by calming the mind and focusing the attention on reducing mental clutter and promoting mindfulness. So basically, you could do your own meditation if that's what you prefer, if like you know how to. Which I don't really think it's that difficult, but some people find it like pretty difficult to like turn their mind off. I feel like I would have trouble trying to do that on my own. So if you're not really sure what to do, there are also tons of guided meditations that you could look up. I think those should work just as well, if not even better for some people, like I was saying. We used to do this particular one in high school all the time when we would do like our Wellness Wednesdays. And I feel like it was a really good one. Sometimes it would actually put me to sleep. So I guess you could definitely say that I was really relaxed. So I think it's a good sign that it's really good at helping you relax and kind of like, get the mind clutter away and promoting that mindfulness. The next stress relieving tip is, and I'm sure this one doesn't come as that big of shock to anyone because I talk about this all the time, but physical activity. Like I've said a billion times on this podcast, exercise releases endorphins, and endorphins make people happy. They're literally the body's natural mood enhancers. And physical activity also reduces levels of cortisol, which is the body's stress hormone. So it doesn't matter what it is, really anything should do the trick. Just get that physical activity in, do yourself a favor, help yourself be happy and be less stressed. As I was saying on my last episode, I've been really into workout videos on YouTube recently and also on the Beachbody app that I have on my iPad. And they really help me to get a better workout than just trying to make something up on my own. So I feel like those are a really good option if you just don't really know what to do, don't really like know where to start. I stand by workout videos on YouTube. I love them so much. They just help me to have great workouts every single time. So maybe give those a try if you haven't yet. The third, I think this is the third one, is time in nature. Another very good stress relieving technique. I know that one might not be the most desirable right now, especially if you live in a colder area like it has been here. It's been so cold like the past week. So I know being outside for me personally is like the last thing I want to do right now. But I do think that when I have been outside, like taking walks and stuff with Mason and Buck, or like my sister or my mom, it has been really nice to just get out and get some fresh air. And it does help to like clear your head and everything. So as long as I bundle up, it's not that terrible. Um, Nature has been said to help in lowering cortisol levels because the natural environment offers a little peaceful break from your daily stressors, which allows for mental restoration and improved focus. So if you can manage it, I would say just bundle up and get outside. You can still have your hot girl walks even if it's not so hot outside. So just give it a try. The fourth tip is progressive muscle relaxation. This involves tensing and then relaxing each muscle group in the body. And what this does is it helps to release any physical tension accumulated from stress. I feel like I have done this one without even thinking about it at times. But I don't think I've ever focused on like my whole body. Like I've never just like realized that was like a technique to do. I think I've more just done like one muscle group at a time, and like stuck with that same muscle group. So I'll definitely be trying to focus more on the whole body next time that I try this technique, and see if that like even helps even more to like do the whole body. And then lastly, and I'm sure this one is one of the most obvious ones, prioritizing sleep and rest. This one is so important because adequate adequate sleep helps to restore both the body and the mind, which allows for better emotional regulation and cognitive function, which I feel like this one has been proven time and time again for me, because I cannot even tell you guys the amount of times I've had like zero sleep or just a really awful night of sleep, and I literally just feel like an emotional wreck the next day. Like I will just want to cry the whole entire day and not even have like a reason whatsoever for why like I feel like doing that. So I'm kind of like, what's going on? Like I'm just like so sad and emotional today, and I like don't even know what it like. I've literally told this to Mason before. I'm like, I just feel like crying. He's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. Like I literally do not know. I just feel like crying all day today, and I don't know what it is. And it's like always when I've had like really rough sleep the night before or zero sleep, and it just kind of reminds me of when I was like a little kid. Or I feel like a lot of kids, this will happen with like a lot of little kids, where you just get like really emotional towards the end of the night. My parents would be like, "Oh, looks like someone's tired and they need to go to bed." Like that's why you're crying. And I wish I could still just go to bed and solve that problem whenever I am feeling like that, because I would be a much happier person if I could just go to sleep and just wake up feeling more rested. But unfortunately, can't always do that when I have to work and function throughout the rest of the day. So I really, really try to get a good night of sleep whenever I can. But yeah, like I was kind of saying, I don't really feel like I have this problem whenever I do get a decent night of sleep. So yes, I fully believe that I literally said it the exact same way that I said it wrong second before. I fully believe that prioritizing sleep and rest can definitely help with better emotional regulation and cognitive function. Which, to circle back to my updates, one of the cool things about the Aura Ring is that it tracks your sleep and like how well you're sleeping, and it will tell you like exactly how much you were sleeping throughout the night, and like like when like how long you were in like REM sleep and stuff like that. Which I think is super cool. Sorry, lost my train of thought. It'll also like suggest this is all this kind of stuff I've seen because I don't have the ring yet, obviously. But people were saying that it will like even suggest the best time for you to go to bed that day, kind of based on just like how you were functioning throughout the day. And it'll like recommend like best time that I think like basically for like your best sleep, or like that you'll be able to fall asleep easiest, which if that is true, that is going to be so cool, because it would be way better to just know, my body's not going to be able to fall asleep at this time right now. So maybe I could try reading or something and not like stressing myself out trying to fall asleep right now, because I feel like I definitely do that sometimes where I'll just like lay there for like hours, like just not really sleeping. So it'd be nice if I could actually see some nights like, hey, you're probably not going to be able to fall asleep until this time, or you should go to bed at this time if you want to have like a productive day tomorrow. So I do hope that that is like a accurate feature of it, because that would be so nice. And then it also will track like your stress levels and tell you how well you're managing your stress, and just a lot of other cool things about your health. You can track your temperature, which I kind of think I was talking about this before, but I'm not like on hormonal birth control. I cannot think of the word anymore. I'm just kind of doing the Natural Cycles app where you take your temperature every morning and kind of like track your like cycle and everything, which it works best if you take your temperature the second you wake up and don't snooze, which I have a big problem with that. I was really good at first, and recently I've been so awful. I always snooze and I don't take my temperature right away. So I feel like it's definitely not been super accurate. But the ring will track your sleep all night long, and I think it either like finds your average temperature, or it will like knows when you wake up and it'll log that temperature into the app. I'm not sure which one it is, but I know it will just like automatically go to the app for you, which is going to be so great for me, like being able to like be more like consistent and accurate with like my temperature measuring and stuff. And also with the temper measuring feature of the ring, it will even like know when you're getting sick, like before you're like actually before you're like experiencing like symptoms and stuff. Like it'll tell you like, hey, maybe take it easy today. Your temperature was like a little higher. So like just make sure you're taking care of yourself in case like you're getting sick or whatever. So I think that is super cool. I'm just overall super, 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 super excited for this ring. Definitely going to have like a more in-depth review episode on it when I get it, because I'm sure I'm going to have a lot to say on it. So yeah, very excited about it. But that does make up the 5 tips that I wanted to talk about today. So that is going to be a wrap for today's episode. Thanks so much to all who stuck around to this point, and I do really hope that you have enjoyed this episode and can find some of these tips beneficial. This episode's been a long time in the making, and I'm finally getting it out there, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you do have any topics that you would like to see an episode on, please send me a message and let me know, because like I've been saying, I would really love to create content that you guys also love and like are excited to listen to. And it's also really nice to have some more ideas, because I'm struggling in that department recently. So, the more the merrier. Little housekeeping as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave this episode or the podcast a review if you haven't yet, because it will help me out so much, gets the show out there for other people to discover. So that would be so helpful. You can also find me on Instagram as Maddie.Manic for my personal account, and getwellsoon __ XOXO for the podcast account, and Maddie.Manic for my TikTok, and get.well.soon XOXO for the podcast TikTok account, since TikTok is still around, thankfully. And my YouTube is linked in my Insta bio and my TikTok bio, and this episode will be on YouTube shortly after it is live on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so go there if you want to watch it. But as always, I will have all this linked in the show notes. Thanks again for tuning in, and don't forget to live your life beautifully. Talk to you next Wednesday.